Hi, welcome. This is the first video about this part of my garden, the gravel garden. It's hardly a half a year old and it's far from finished, but this is the first in a series of videos where I will show you how I made this so far and what's to come. I'm planning to finalize this garden more or less in the coming year, so there will be a lot more videos, so tag along. I thought I'd start by just giving you a bit of a tour around the garden as it looks right now, because I'm just in the about to start again after a long winter to start to plant and so on. So I'll just give you a close-up. So this is what it looks like from a bit away. It starts here at the northwest corner, adjacent to my raised conifer bed, and runs halfway along the north side of the garden, which is edged by a big yew hedge. I put in some granite stones, and I've made the border out of just natural rock. I've incorporated a more or less circular regular bed into the gravel bed. I put in a stone path up to the seating area. This bench is pretty nice. It's got a lot of character and patina, but it's not very comfortable actually. So I will replace it with a new bench, which I will build. And to the left here, I will place a lamppost. I'll have big grasses to the left and to the right. I will have a creeping juniper around here somewhere, and a lot of other things which I will come to shortly. You can see I've also incorporated another bed here, and the design, I have to say, is my wife's, and I really like it. You can follow the arch of the edge even though it's broken up by these two other beds, and this circular shape is continued in the raised conifer bed, and also in the adjacent rhododendron bed, which I have made another video about, and then onwards throughout the garden. Okay, so that's a bit of the big picture. So if you've been following this garden for a while, you know that it hasn't happened overnight. What we're looking at now is the result of, well, more or less 2 years of dedicated work. Planting, trimming, mulching, weeding, etc., etc., digging, and then some digging. And I've really found a new love in this garden, and I can't wait for every new day to just continue to develop this. Now I'm putting some pictures on. This first one is a picture of our garden in early season. The lawn is green, hedges are tight, fruit trees, even though they're very old, are starting to bud up. Next picture. This is what it looks like at its best on a midsummer evening. Flower beds edged with rounded cobblestones, and this big yew hedge dividing the space. And somewhere in there, a garden bench just waiting to be used. But this autumn I decided to take on a bigger project. I wanted to transform a large section of lawn, the area tacked along the hedge, into something special. Not just for me, but for someone special as well. And this is just one part of an ongoing project to diversify this garden as much as possible. I'm trying to create as many different little mini habitats as possible. Different styles of gardens and beds and borders. Yeah, so um, to kind of motivate me a bit extra, I've pictured my mother-in-law as the main uh, customer for this project. I'm thinking that she will be sitting in this bench. She has actually decided exactly where it should go, so I've placed it exactly where she wants it to be. Um, I think she really loves my gardening as well as my father-in-law. Uh, and I wanted to give her a place that she could call her own, to make her feel welcome to come in here and enjoy the garden even when we are not here. Um, and to have a destination, not just to walk around, but somewhere where she can sit down and look out over the whole space and feel at home, really. That's the goal. So, beginning from the beginning then, the area I chose runs along the yew hedge at the back, at the northern edge of the garden. It has always been a plain lawn and a bit awkward to mow, even though, as you can see in some pictures, it's quite rewarding actually when it's deep green. So the plan was to strip away the turf, to lay a very thick weed membrane, then to add nice gravel, and then the stepping stones. And then, of course, to have a plant design, which I will show you shortly. And anchor it all with a bench that I'm going to build myself. And as I said, there will also be electric lighting of different kinds, including the lamppost to the right of the bench, but also several other kinds of lights. And I will actually draw out high current, high voltage electricity here, so that I can really use nice lights, not just solar powered or low voltage lights, but the real thing. So I will have to, I have contracted an electrician to help me with that. I'm not sure I will be finished with that this year. It depends a bit about on how much time I have and how much money I have as well, and if I find the right lights. Yeah, anyway, I started in, I think, late September, early October. So after removing the turf, the first job was to lay the weed membrane over the stripped area and to begin edging it with these rounded cobblestones. I've been collecting stone from earlier projects, so I wanted the border to feel like it belonged. And I will, as I've said in other videos, once you start using natural stone, you can't get enough. And as it happens, later this week I'm going to fetch two new loads of stone, and I will probably need yet 2, 3, 4 loads before I'm even remotely happy. Not least for my rockery, which is on the other side of the garden, but also to edge more beds, and yeah, you can never get enough of stone, I think. And once again, I want to give a shout out to the YouTube channel Garden Hike, run by a man called Mike, living in the northern US plains. He comes out regularly with beautiful films from his own garden, and also projects that he is doing as a professional designer. He works a lot with stone, and I really like his stuff. Once you get over the intimidation, at first it feels a bit strange to use so much stone, but once you get over it, it really makes sense. Okay, so as I said before, the rounded shape is a bit organic, and it's a theme that goes along the entire garden. There's no straight lines. So it curves around a couple of the existing fruit trees, leaving planting pockets, and it sweeps out into the lawn. And as I said, right in the middle I've placed this old bench. It was actually a bench on a seagoing ship 100 years ago, believe it or not, because my neighbor 50 years ago, he was an old retired sea captain, and I haven't really taken care of it, so Yeah, and then I've placed a bit of other granite blocks around the gravel, which I tend to use as microclimates to catch even more of the sun's rays, which they will almost from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening in the summer. So there I think I will be able to plant some pretty exotic things. And then the stepping stones. The large irregular slabs of sandstone in a warm golden buff color, which I think complements the gravel nicely. I first laid small gravel, not the decorative gravel, but really, really small gravel. Same kind of gravel that I've used as for when I built my patio, for instance, and when I built the wall around the raised conifer bed. So very small gravel, just to make a solid foundation. So I laid that gravel on top of the weed blanket, and then I mushed the sandstones into it so that they really rest firmly on that small gravel. And I've let my mother-in-law walk up and down here so that the distance between the stones feels good for her to walk on. And they form kind of a winding path from the lawn edge all the way up to the bench. And I actually love the way the flagstones look against the dark membrane before the gravel goes in. But yeah, there's something satisfying about seeing the bones of a design before it's finished. But then, of course, the whole idea is to put the gravel in. So then the gravel went in. As I said, it kind of complements the sandstone, stepping stones. It's a warm amber tone, and it ties in beautifully with a sandstone, and picks up also the colors of the cobblestone border. Then the stepping stones are set into the gravel, and it's starting to look like a real garden room now. I actually could have put in even more gravel, but it's quite expensive, so we'll see. If it turns out that there will be weeds coming through, maybe I will put in another cubic meter or two to get now it's about 2 inches deep, but maybe I can go for 3 inches. But as I said, the gravel is quite expensive. Yeah, so here are a few angles to show you the full scale of it. The area is almost, I think, 8, 9, 10 meters wide, and about 4, almost 5 meters deep at its deepest. And the fruit tree gets its own little mulched island within the gravel. It's an old apple tree, and it's almost dead, but still I use it as a kind of sculpture now, really. Okay, so now is where things get really exciting. This is my planting plan. Kind of rough and ready, hand-drawn thing. This is my own initial plan, but I'm working on this together with my local nursery, and especially a wonderful woman there called Annelie. She has already helped me with several other beds in this garden, and she really understands what I'm going for, and also, and more importantly, she knows exactly how to make things work in my garden. So I almost always let her have the last word when it comes to things. So as I said, I'm pretty certain about grasses in the background, and a creeping juniper in the front. But then I'm open to suggestions. I'm thinking of having quite a lot of pots, but I want things to just come directly out of the gravel as well. And I want some things to creep over the cobblestone borders. And I think Annelie will make things look just as I want. And I made, as you can see, I made a list of things that I think could work, but I'm going to leave it up to Annelie to make the final decisions. And the plan is still a work in progress, but the goal is something of a Mediterranean-inspired thing, with plants that thrive in gravel and love sun and don't need much water. And of course, I've been looking at Beth Chatto's gravel gardens, for instance. So things that could work is Achillea, Allium, Sedum, Iris, Dianthus. I love Dianthus. Erigeron, creeping along the edges. Erodium, Potentilla, Hypericum, Erigeron, perhaps, Helianthemum, Santolina, etc., etc., etc. And as I said, there will be pots too, including, I think, a large urn here on the left side with an agapanthus in. I've always looked for a place to have an agapanthus. I think that would be nice. Maybe a hibiscus somewhere, but I'm not sure if I can make room for it, if it would fit. Yeah, and as always, there's winter interest due to the hedge, the yew hedge behind it, and it will be because of the creeping juniper at least, and also the large grasses, and of course the lamp post and the electric lights and the bench. So I'm thinking kind of a tapestry planting thing, low, spreading, textural. And I hope it will look good even in winter and absolutely glorious in summer. And something my mother-in-law can watch change through the seasons from sitting here on the bench. So looking ahead, I hope to plant most of this in at least late spring, or at the very latest during this season, up till the coming autumn. And maybe I will also have time and money to install the electric lights already this year. And of course building and installing the new bench. So there's going to be several follow-up videos to this one coming. And you'll see this space go from bare gravel to something truly alive. This whole project is just one of many things that I love about gardening. It's not just about plants and stones and gravel, it's about creating different places, different environments, different mini milieus. And in this case it's centered around my mother-in-law as a kind of special incentive. A bench for her to sit down in, a path that invites her to come here and slow down, and a garden that holds a piece of her heart, hopefully. So, if you're thinking of doing something similar, replacing a bit of turf with a gravel garden, or making some other kind of special place in your garden, I'd love to hear about it. And I'd love to hear your comments about this place and what you think of it so far, and if you have any ideas or suggestions about how I should adjust my planting plan. I'd love to hear about it. And if you want to follow along, please subscribe, and I'll treat you to a lot of, as I said, follow-up videos from this space and from other spaces around the garden. So much to come. Thank you for watching.